Hi, ladies. I'm going to go ahead and mute you both while everybody's coming on. Make sure everybody's muted. There shouldn't be any barking tonight because Mike's already home. We'll see. Okay, as always, I wait and give everybody about 3 to 5 minutes, and then we'll get started. Make sure I can read all my notes. Ignore me. If you could hear the banging. No? Oh, good. Can you hear me? I literally just dropped the cup on the table. All right, people are still coming in. Or just coming in, I should say. I'm going to give it another minute or two. Everybody having a good week so far? Don't forget, this is recorded. People are slowly dripping on. All right, let's give it another minute and then I'm going at it. Okay, always do some housekeeping in the beginning of our meeting, and then I'll get into the meat of the meeting. So first thing is welcome everybody. I can't believe next week is already Thanksgiving. Our meeting next week, this is housekeeping, is not Wednesday. It is Tuesday. I can't do it on Wednesday. We're going to see Dirty Dancing at like a theater or whatever. So I can't have it on Wednesday night. So we're gonna do it Tuesday at 7 p.m. and it is holiday tips. How to cook better, how to get through the holiday. We'll do it again before Christmas, but this is holiday tips. So no meeting Wednesday. It's Tuesday, 7 p.m. You know, I'll be posting it so you guys know. We're still going to have the workout at 6 p.m. And then we'll go into the meeting. I posted the meeting from last night, which has a lot of good information already on YouTube, which I did a meeting last night because I did a mini shred and I was doing more introductory stuff, but there was a lot of good information in the meeting. So it's already on YouTube. So I would definitely take the opportunity and watch it, listen to it. I had asked in the memes and motivation group on Sunday, I said, change one thing and change everything. So when I asked everybody to list something that they would change, and this goes back to me asking you guys to be engaged in the groups. There's 3 groups that I tell you guys to be engaged in. Important announcements, memes and motivation, and the transformations congratulating people. Those 3 groups are the most important for me to know that you guys are being active and engaged in the app. For you guys, it's the carb group and the cheat sheets and all those other things, recipe group, amazing foods, that kind of thing. So when I asked that question, I got an answer from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 people. There's 200 people in the app. 14 people. And funny thing is, most of you are on the Zoom, but if you didn't, go back and please let me know what you're willing to change. I mean, it doesn't have to be anything major, just something that you were doing that you shouldn't be doing that would help you achieve your goals that much faster. And if you don't think you're in the group, you're in the group because everybody's in that group. All you gotta do is look to the top or wherever you keep your groups and you'll see it there. So just scroll through and you'll see it. Okay. Once a week, I'm going to be posting something in that group and I want you guys to please be engaged. Please, it will help you reach your goals by doing that. So, if you're not journaling or anything like that, this would be a great way just to put on paper things that you're willing to do. So willing to change. Okay. Next thing is, don't forget to keep sending me carbs and proteins so I can put them in the groups for you guys. It wasn't just that one meeting, it's just ongoing. So when you find a carb or a protein that you love, send it to me in a collage, front of the page, back, so that they can see what it is and the nutrition of it. And if you want, you could say where you bought it from. And then I'll put it in the group because it's great having more options. You know, we get bored, we need the variety. So please, please, please send those my way. Okay. I know I always talk about consistency is key. Consistency is key, but consistency is progress. When you are consistent, you will see progress. You will see changes. You will see your body change, not necessarily the scale move, because when you track macros, it is about shrinking your body. It's not about losing weight always all the time. And for example, someone came up to me at the gym the other day and they're like, wow, you lost weight. First of all, I don't take that as a compliment, but they say, wow, you lost weight. And I was like, actually, I didn't lose weight, but I started really focusing in and not doing my 10 grams over under. I'm doing like 4 to 5 and I've lost inches, but the scale has not moved. Next week, I'll do the InBody and I'll see about my body fat, but the scale hasn't moved. But yes, I look smaller. So remember, it's not always about the scale moving, but if you're consistent, you'll see progress in your clothing, in your photos. People will be complimenting you. Those are like the greatest forms of non-scale victories, right? Scale is like the least because muscle and fat weigh the same. And if you're working out, the scale is not going to move on a daily basis for you, or a weekly basis for that matter. So doing an in body would be a great way to see the offset. I've posted stuff in the group of a girl that weighed 150 pounds and a girl that weighed 155 pounds. And it was she looked like she had lost 12 pounds, but honestly, she had put on the muscle, but she looked so teeny, but amazing. She looked like she was ripped, but the scale weighed 5 pounds more. And I'm going to look for those again. I know they're somewhere in the groups, but I'm going to look for it again, and I'm going to post it so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so consistency creates progress. We're going to be talking about a couple of things. So I'm going to be talking about what kind of wiggle room there is, why we don't really have that much wiggle room. For those that have more wiggle room than others, I'm going to give you guys some food options if you have a Trader Joe's near you. And then I'm going to talk about carbs. And the reason why I'm talking about carbs is because I talked about proteins already last week. And I know that there's a fear of carbs. People are afraid to eat carbs. I know I'm not alone, but my carbs are gone I start eating at 11 or 12. They're gone within the hour. And I have to manage my carbs because I love carbs, but I also want carbs at dinner. I also want carbs in my afternoon snack. And I get a lot of carbs. Let me tell you how many carbs I get a day. You would think I would know this, but I see everybody else's who's in it confuses me. I get 191 grams of carbs a day. If you guys had that, you'd be like, holy F, I'm never going to be able to eat all that. And I'm not eating all that. I'm going to gain so much weight, right? It's a lot. I also have 206 proteins to eat every day. It's a lot, but I eat it and I'm always hungry and I always want more. And Mike came, I thought Mike was going to bring home fish tacos for dinner because that's normally if he's coming home from there. I had set that in my head, put it in my app, and then he's like, oh, it's buffet. So I'm going to make cauliflower pizza for dinner. Is what he said when he walked in the door. And I was like, I don't have carbs left for that. So now I'm going to have a turkey burger and maybe 8 sweet potato fries, because I thought I was going to take the fish out of the tacos and just eat the fish. So I didn't think about it. I honestly, that's what I thought. So I have no carbs left pretty much. So I'm kind of screwed, but I love carbs and you guys should love carbs. You guys should embrace carbs. And I'm going to talk about that. But first, okay. So situations when you have more wiggle room to be not as consistent. Bonnie, this is for you. When you're on vacation, number one reason why you should not be a stickler is when you're on vacation. Now, I'm not telling you not to be mindful, but I don't want you to be on a ship and you're sitting around 14 people and you're like, hold on a minute. All right, I'm good to eat. You don't want to be freaking doing that. You don't want to carry your phone around with you. Most of us don't. I mean, we use it as our camera now, but be mindful. Make the right choices, but you don't have to be a stickler. You have that wiggle room when you're on vacation. Now, I'm not telling you every day to have 3 desserts when you're on a cruise, because you do have that option. Or to get an ice cream cone every day at 9 o'clock in the morning, because that's when they're serving you ice cream cones on the deck, right? Be mindful, walk a lot, take the stairs, don't take the elevator. Try to do outdoorsy things, try to get to the gym. That is one thing that is a non-negotiable for me. It is a requirement that I get to work out every single day on vacation. It makes me feel good more than anything. Plus, then I know I can eat that. I don't have to eat as strict if I do that. I'm allowing myself that wiggle room. Prioritize special foods when you're on vacation and time it with your loved ones. So if breakfast is not a big deal to you, try to eat leaner for breakfast when you're on vacation. Maybe have eggs and don't have the toast, because at dinner they give you all these options of amazing breads and breadsticks and whatever. When you have a larger macro deficit, you have more wiggle room. You guys honestly don't have that large of a, you have a large deficit so you can lose weight faster, but you don't have that wiggle room that you can. I give you guys 10 grams over under, right? Most coaches do 5 over under. That's tight, but I calculated enough that you have that 10 grams over under. Otherwise, you would lose your mind. So there's that wiggle room, the 10 grams over under. If you're super stressed and you feel like focusing on tracking that day and being 100% consistent with those numbers stresses you out more, I don't want it to give you anxiety. That's not the point of doing this. This is supposed to make you less stressed. That being said, yes, the first 3 weeks of tracking macros is hell, right? I should just name it like Hell Week or something. Because you don't know what you're doing. You don't know what food you can eat. You don't know how it's going to fit into your numbers. But then all of a sudden, it like clicks. And you're like, oh my gosh, why was I stressing out the past couple of weeks? And now you're telling other people how easy it is and how fun it is. And you'll help them do it if they want to start it. Raise your hand if that was you. Isn't that funny? Isn't that crazy? One of the things I love about tracking macros, it's warm in my house. I gotta put the fan on. Okay. So if you're okay with slower progress, you can give yourself more wiggle room. Who's okay with slower progress? You are? You are? Honestly? Okay. So I already calculate you only at 1 pound a week. How much slower progress do you want? You want 1 pound a week, right? Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Stay within your macros. Because if you take more of that wiggle room on a consistent basis, you're not going to lose 1 pound a week. That's all I calculate you guys at. I might give you a little bit wiggle room, 1.3, 1.5. Some people lose weight faster than others, but the calculation is 1 pound a week. And that's just because the slower you lose it, it stays on. All these people, and I don't care if you're on this Zoom or not, and I don't care who I'm knocking, and I don't care who I'm talking about, but if you're fucking doing that semaglutide crap and the Ozempic crap, that is a diet. Now, if you're doing it because you're diabetic, that's different. But if you're doing it because you want to lose 15 pounds in 30 days, then you're doing it as a diet. And that is not going to stay off. I can guarantee you, message me right now in my phone, right now in my app, and tell me you're doing it. Tell me what you weigh today. Tell me what you weigh in 2 months when you're allowed to do 2 cycles of the semaglutide, and then come back to me in 3 months. Because you're going to lose the weight and you're going to be right back knocking on my door saying, Shannon, you're right. I lost the 18 pounds and now I'm up 41 pounds. What am I going to do? It is a diet. I'm telling you, I worked for a diet doctor. His name was Dr. Mulavi. I was a nutritionist in his office. We did HCG. We did phentermine. I saw every day. There are people in here that were my patients. I would do their daily injections of HCG. They'd be so happy. They lost the weight. And then we had to make them off cycle because you can't do it for more than 2 months. And then they'd gain all that weight back in less than 30 days. And that's job security for the doctors. They hook you, you lose the weight, they let you go, you gain the weight, they get you right back. Because you know why? You say to yourself, but it worked. I lost that 15, 18 pounds. You did, but where are you now? And that's a roller coaster diet. And that is so bad for your heart, so bad for your body, so bad for your system. This works. And, you know, do you guys all remember when fen was like the thing? Everybody did fen, right? Do you guys all remember when HCG was the thing? Everybody talked about HCG. The new thing is this Ozempic and semaglutide. And they're $500 a month. You can do 2 cycles and then you're let loose. And it's the new fad. Don't fall into the fad traps. Okay, I'm going to just go off on that because I have so many people coming up to me like in the gym and asking me my thoughts about it. And like, I don't want to go against anyone, but it's a diet. A diet is a diet no matter how you look at it. And the thing with that is also, is you're not allowed to exercise. You're only allowed to walk. And you're not allowed more than 50 carbs a day. And that is ridiculous. And I'm going to get to that because we're going to talk about carbs. Okay. Next thing on my list. Reasons why you don't have wiggle room. You have a goal in mind, a wedding, a birthday, a milestone. That's where you really need to stick with those macros that I tell you. You know, the 10 gram over under for the proteins, carbs, 6 to 8 for fat, preferably the 6. You've been macros tracking for a while. You're already relatively lean or lost the bulk of your weight, but you have goals to continue getting leaner. That's where you got to tighten the belts. It's not about me changing your macros. It's about you just tightening the belt just a little bit. No more 10. Now you're at 8. Remember I told you guys I tightened mine. I went up about 5 over under. That's when you start to see it. And you can always open it up again if you want to have a good time and then bring it back down. And then open it up and bring it back down. You can do that. That's macros. It's not a diet. And you're going to be 100% consistent if you want to see the most fastest progress possible. Who wants that? Within the goals that I set for you, obviously not 3 pounds or all that other stuff. Okay. Moving on. Now you all know why you need to be consistent, because you didn't know that before, right? Okay. So let's talk about carbs. Let's talk about why we need carbs. So carbs are energy. And carbs help you store energy for your movement, for recovery. Carbs actually help you sleep better. So people that do like low carb or any of those other crazy diets, they probably have crappy sleep. And then all of a sudden they're exhausted and then they get amazing sleep and they think that, oh, it's because of the new diet I'm on. It's not. It's absolutely positively not. I have something in my eye. Okay. Carbs help keep your brain healthy. If you've ever done keto, you always get like that brain fog because you don't have all your macros. It helps your muscles feel strong. Carbs help your muscles feel refreshed. So carbs are super important. And when people say that they're on low carb diets, the majority of them are exhausted. I'm on a low carb diet. I can't work out that much. Going back to that fad, you could have 50 carbs a day. No wonder why you can only walk. You have no strength to do anything else. What the hell is 50 carbs? I can like choke, like 50 carbs is like nothing, right? Think about that. It's a banana. If you eat a large banana, that's 50 carbs. I would be fine. I don't even know what I would do. I could never do that. Carbs have a lot of vitamins. They have a lot of minerals. You need carbs to survive on a daily basis. And those are micronutrients, but we're not going to get into that. Okay, moving on. If you look at your macros and you're like, holy crap, I'm on a high carb diet. There's no such thing. People message me all the time. They're like, my doctor told me I need to be on I can't be on a high protein and I need to be on a medium carb and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I don't even know. Does your doctor know what they're talking about? Or I'll say, give me their number. Let me call your doctor because I'm not sure if they understand. And most doctors don't know about nutrition, right? You go to a cardiologist, they know about that. You go to a dentist, they know about that. You go to a speech and audiology, whatever, they know about that. They're specific for that. I was just asked to be a consultant for a doctor's office in Wellington for nutrition because the doctor doesn't know anything about that. She works at Good Sam. She's an emergency room doctor, but she owns a med spa. But if they don't know, they shouldn't be talking about it. And most doctors will, and it's just, they're just doing what they think they should be saying, but there's no such thing as all that crap. And nobody hears on a high protein or high carb or low carb. Everything's pretty even keel because that's the best way to see results. A lot of times when you're in that medium range of carbs, like 36 to 34 to 38, that's when you're going to start to see your body get stronger and your body composition change. A lot of people talk about it like it's reverse dieting, which I don't title it reverse dieting, but nobody in here is in such a large deficit that they need to do that, because you guys have enough food to maintain what you're doing until you go on maintenance. Let me grab my notes. Okay. So the amount of carbs, it depends on so many things. It depends on your workouts. People doing more high intensity workouts need more carbs to fuel their activities, right? Orange Theory Fitness, it is considered a high intensity workout. You would need more carbs versus a person that does yoga all the time, because you're not burning as many. It's actually my contact that's dry. Sorry, I've been wearing them since 3:30 this morning. Okay. How active are you throughout the day? You're neat. You know, when I ask you in the consultation forum, what do you do all day? Like, are you a teacher? Are you a server? I have one girl that's in here that's roller derby. That's what she does for a living. Like, that's huge. I always wanted to be a roller derby person, by the way. I dragged my second ex-husband to roller derbies every Sunday because I thought I wanted to do it. And then I realized that you actually get hit. And I was like, okay, I like the outfits. I like the roller skating. But when they like banged into the people, I was like, it's not for me. But there's someone in here that does that. I'm not going to say who it is, but she has to have a lot, because she does roller derby practice like 4 nights a week. She lifts, she does workouts. That's a lot of stuff. She eats more than I do, actually. And she's smaller than I am. But it depends on what you're doing. Your NEAT, your non-exercise activity that you're doing throughout the day. Parking your car further away. If you're doing that all the time, you know, that adds to your caloric burn throughout the day. Your genetics, your goals. I pretty much set your goals. So everybody's pretty much the same in here. I already told you guys 1 pound a week. So even if you tell me you want to lose 30 pounds in an 8-week session, you're not going to do it. I'm not going to let you do that. It's not going to happen. Your calculations are there. And if I see you trying to do it by cutting carbs, I'll call you out in a heartbeat. You will get a message from me. Okay. No, we do not track net carbs. I get that question all the time. Carb is a carb is a carb is a carb. Just like a pound is a fat, a pound is a fat, a carb is a carb. I take into consideration when I tell you guys to look at your fiber numbers. Make sure your fiber is a good number, 15 to 25, depending on who you are. That will help you with that balance. You don't have to worry about that. It's already taken into consideration. A low carb diet is considered somewhere between 30 and 57 grams a day. Just want to put that out there. And we're going to talk about how to add more carbs into your diet for people that have a fear of it. So stick with single source carbs. Stick with high volume carbs. I'm going to call out a couple of these. And then I actually hired a person to help me with, when I give you guys lists, to make them into sheets. So she's going to work on this for me. But and you guys might know her. If you worked out at Orange Theory in Royal Palm, Nick's wife, Amber. She used to work at Orange Theory. She's in the app too, but you guys don't know it. She's helping me with stuff to make it look better. So high volume vegetables, asparagus, bok choy, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, cauliflower. There's a huge list of high volume foods that you can get carbs, and it will fill you up so you're not hungry. You guys all know I eat a ton of broccoli. Oh my God, how did this meeting go so fast? I just got a 10-minute warning. I talk way too much. Think about volume, big bowls. Like, you know, I eat a lot of food in volume. I'm all about volume eating. I get my carbs in, they're healthy, they're simple, they're single source carbs. You know, I'm not thinking about, oh, well, I'm going to have a blueberry muffin. That's like multi-source. That's not single source. High volume fruits. I tell you guys this all the time. Berries, blackberries, blueberries, raspberries, strawberries. Great sources of carbs. Great sources to fill you up. I do try to get strawberries as often as I can because of that reason. I'm sorry, I don't know why my eyes bother me so bad. Things you should stay away from, like refined carbs, breakfast cereals, candy, pastries, cookies, bagels, jellies, jams, preservatives, juice. Number one culprit, orange juice, grapefruit juice, apple juice. Stay away from juices. Pretzels, chips, crackers. You'll eat them and you'll be hungry right away. They don't steer near you. You can write these down because you know it's going to take me 3 weeks to put them in a list. So, right, Stacey? I just saw you. Stacey with the Y, my sister. Although Stacey with an I is smiling also. Okay. Carbs are not bad for you. Everybody say that where you're sitting. Carbs are not bad for you. I could see your lips moving. Thank you. For those that I can see your pictures. So those that are not hiding. I can't believe there's only 13 people on this meeting. Okay. Adding carbs to your diet. Easy ways to add carbs to your diet. Rice crackers, not the sugar crackers. Rice crackers. Couscous. I love couscous. Potatoes. They can be white potatoes, sweet potatoes, yams. They can be squash, butternut squash. Those are all great options for carbs. Stay away from dried fruit. Someone asked me about that. Usually if it's dried fruit, they're using some kind of preservative for it to keep it preserved. You want to stay away from carbs that are very low volume, those refined carbs that I told you, because they're not going to fill you up. Think about switching your mindset over. And I'm not knocking on anybody that does this because I do it sometimes too, but the Kodiak snack, Kodiak breakfast and stuff, they're yummy. They taste so freaking good. But you cannot tell me after the first week or two that you're not hungry after eating it. In an hour, you're hungry. It does not satiate you the way if you were to have regular oatmeal, because you can have more of it. And I'm just using an example, like think about things, how you can change what you're eating. Ezekiel bread, I don't know if anybody likes it, but Ezekiel bread's really good. You have to keep it in the refrigerator, but it's really good. And if you put a little bit of nut butter on it or the nuts and more stuff that I told you guys about, oh my God, it's like heaven, and it fills you up. Ezekiel bread fills you up. Start thinking about different go-tos. I'm still going to eat Zodiac. I'm still going to eat Kodiak stuff, just like you guys are, because I know it's something that you guys all enjoy. But I'm just saying, if you start to feel yourself getting hungry or you're not able to hit your carbs, it's usually because of those things. So there's like 32 carbs in a cup of Kodiak, right? But there's like, you can get 57 carbs if you eat oatmeal. You can put peanut butter in your oatmeal. You can put protein powder in your oatmeal, and it's amazing. It's probably one of my favorite things in the whole world of macros. You should try it. It's so good. Stacey with an eye is going to try it. I could see her eyes moving like, it sounds good. It is really, really, really good. Does anyone have a favorite? Oh, I was going to talk about the Trader Joe's stuff. Oh, I forgot about that. How much time do I got? 5 minutes. Before I do that, does anybody have a favorite carb that I didn't mention? Oh, good. I covered them all. Okay.
Sorry. Hi.
Hi. Go ahead. What were you going to say, Naseem?
I was going to say, in the beginning, and I don't know if this happens to people, but I was very confused on how to track rice because you're supposed to track it. So when you cook it, you're tracking the dry ingredients, right? So like a quarter cup technically is a full cup cooked. I did
But
not.
only water. You're not tracking the cooked rice.
Sorry.
So hopefully you're not tracking the cooked rice.
No, the uncooked.
Correct. Because all you're doing is adding water.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
But I had no idea. And like, if you want to have a half cup of rice, you just log 1/8 of a cup.
Right.
Anyway.
Wait, a half a cup, you log a quarter of a cup. If you want half of a half.
Is
A
it?
half of a half is a quarter, not an eighth. A half of a
I-
quarter is an eighth.
I don't know. I'm confused now.
An eighth, a quarter, a half, a whole.
Yeah. But like, isn't a quarter dry is a full cup cooked, is what I thought.
Right. So it depends on if you're logging it cooked or dry. When you go in your app, you should be choosing cooked rice or
Yeah.
dry rice, just like raw chicken or baked chicken.
But if you scan it, usually it just does the dry.
Correct. So in that case, you're just scanning it and you're putting exactly what you're eating.
Yeah.
Correct. Because when you're cooking pasta or rice, you're not adding anything to it. You're adding water to it. It's volume, but it's the same macros.
Yeah.
Does everybody get that? Okay. I just don't want everybody to get confused with that. And that's why there's such great options as carbs, because they're volume foods. They blow up like when you add the water to it. Unlike pancakes, they blow up in your stomach, but you don't want to do that. Okay, I know not everybody has Trader Joe's, but Trader Joe's is online also. So I'm just going to name a couple of things that are great. They have a butternut squash pizza crust. The macros is 0 fat and only 14 carbs. It has a little bit of protein, not too much, but it's only 14 carbs for 50 grams of it. And that's Trader Joe's. They have a fall harvest salsa. It has pumpkin, apple, and butternut squash, 0 fat, and only 3 carbs for 2 whole tablespoons. And it tastes really good. They have a gluten-free pumpkin pancake mix. So of course it's pumpkin. I mean, it's pancakes. So of course it's going to be carbs. So it has 29 carbs and 2 proteins for 1/3 of a cup dry. Doesn't matter how many pancakes it makes. You already measured it dry. And that's with all the ingredients you add to it. They have a pumpkin cream cheese spread for 2 tablespoons, 5 fats, 6 carbs, no protein. They have a pumpkin non-fat Greek yogurt. So I'm not big on anything non-fat, but if you're a pumpkin person and you're craving it and you don't want to go to Starbucks and get something that's pumpkin because you know it's not good for you, or Dunkin' Donuts, that's an option. It has 12 proteins and 20 carbs, 0 fat for the whole container of it. They have a rice cauliflower and butternut squash risotto. This is really not bad. For a cup of it frozen, because it's frozen. For a cup of it frozen, it's 7 carbs, 4 fats, and 2 proteins. I'm actually going to buy that to make as another side dish for Thanksgiving as a healthy option if you don't want mashed potatoes. They have a spaghetti squash spiral. So 3/4 a cup frozen is 11 carbs, 5 proteins, and 4 fats. Not too bad. I mean, it's butternut squash. And they have a pumpkin bar. So it's kind of like a granola, like what is it? It's kind of like a Fig Newton, but pumpkin. I'm gonna get killed for that. I'm gonna get knocked off of this. But 1 bar is 2 proteins, 2 fats, and 27 carbs if you're craving something like that. But it will be filling. It's kind of big. Okay. So that is our meeting tonight, talking about carbs. Don't forget our meeting next